Okay, this is a real quick, easiest way I know how to do a beer can chicken. So I rinsed the chicken, dried it off, trimmed it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna spray the whole thing in duck fat. So keep one hand clean, one hand with all your whatever. And then, I mean, you're seasoning the skin. You're not really seasoning the meat. Which, if you've ever done like a turkey, like Thanksgiving, you've ever fried a turkey or anything like that. So what you can do is like break this skin away from here. It's gonna break. It's gonna come away from there anyways. So you can get your hand up under there, and you can actually get some seasoning on the meat itself. And some inside there, down in there. Because in the end, it's going to come off when the skin comes off, and you're just gonna be eating meat anyways. So I drink about a third of the beer, and then I just take some pliers and remove the opening so I can put some seasoning in there. And then get it on here, get it upright, and that's that. I'm gonna take it to the pit and put it on the pit. I do mine. There's different temperatures. I mean, everybody does it a little bit different, but I do it at 350, just a little bit hotter, so that it's a little more crispy. And like I said, it doesn't affect the meat because of the skin. Nothing's really getting to the meat. It just makes it crispier, and I like the skin. And I don't care if it splits open. And anyways, and plus it takes a lot longer. People that run them at 250 or 300, it takes a long time. So I run it up there 350, 375, and it usually takes a little over an hour. So I'll put it on, and then I'll get another clip of me, because we're gonna baste it right towards the very end. I'm gonna put a thermometer in here, and then towards the end I'm gonna baste it. So in here, get it kind of centered, and then take the probe. Get it kind of in the biggest part of the breast, because we're gonna cook it to about 160, and I want to baste it and let that sauce sort of thicken up, and then pull it off. And I mean, the package says 180 internal, but 155, some people pull it off at 155 and let it rest to 160 and slice it. I go to 160 because it's not in jeopardy of getting dried out with the beer can and the skin on and everything. It's not going to get dried out. So I go to 160 based. When I'm pulling it off, it's 10 minutes after that, so it's probably, I'm pulling it off at 165 and letting it rest, and then I'll slice it up. So I'm kind of in the middle of that debate. I'm not a eat it at 155, and I'm also not a let it go to 180 type person. But anyways, I get in the center. I had to take my little baby rack thing out just so it's not up against that, and get the probe in, get it in the middle of the thing, and you can start to see it's starting to smoke a little bit now. And I'll just monitor that internal temp. I'm not really going for a set amount of time. I'm just strictly going by that probe internal. It's at 160. It can come off right now, and you can just eat it like it is. But it's like the same thing that I put on the ribs. It's 50-50 barbecue sauce and honey. I'm just gonna put this on here, and you know, on the ribs I did it about halfway. This I'm doing it just with enough time that it's gonna dry and gets hardened up and sticky, and then we'll pull it off. But I mean, the birds are ready to eat like it is. This is just to put some flavor on the skin, and because some of that dry rub has worked itself off of there. Kind of hard to reach the back part of it, but put a little is just the finishing. It's just giving the skin more flavor. It's not doing anything to, at this point, to flavor the meat. Even the dry rub didn't really flavor the meat. We're just getting the skin, so the skin's good to eat. But yeah, all I'm gonna do, it's gonna have like 10 minutes, about 10 minutes of that, and then I'm just gonna pull it off, let it rest, and start cutting it up. Okay, pulled it off, and I'm going to cut it up. That's my piece. It is extremely hot. And if I bite into this, it's gonna burn my mouth. Oh yeah. So I ended up doing 375. I can't remember if I said I was gonna do 350 or 375, but like I was saying, it ended up going for about right at 90 minutes. So this was a big chicken. I usually try to get ones that are a little bit smaller, but this is the only one they had. For like so it's like 5.5 pound chicken. Took 90 minutes at 375, and I probably could have took it off sooner, but I was walking in and out. I wasn't checking the temperature probe on my phone, but it's fine. I want it to get crispy on the outside, and it was pretty crispy before I basted it. So if you like it to be really crispy, you don't have to do that mopping part, but I'm just trying to add some more flavor. The meat doesn't have that much flavor, so all the flavor is basically in the skin, but it's really good. I think internal it ended up being 168 when I took it off of there, and then I let it rest for 10 minutes. So make sure, I don't know if I said this earlier, but make sure that you don't use a cold beer. When you get a beer out of the fridge, drink a third of it, let it sit out, let it get to room temp, and then put it inside your little, inside your stand, so that there's not a cold can sitting inside of your bird when you're trying to get the inside cooked. But as long as you get the probe down in here in the thickest part of this, it's going to be cooked all the way through, and it's going to be an accurate reading. And the skin is where it's at. That skin is really good. Some people put butter on it. I didn't add butter. I just add this duck fat on there, and that gets it crispy enough for me. But that's all there is to it. It might even be easier than the ribs. I said the ribs were easy, but this is probably as easy or easier than the ribs. Put it on the stand with the beer, cover it in any dry rub you like. I use something that's got a lot of sugar, just like with the other. Sugar, if you look at the ingredients that are on here by volume, the #1 ingredient is sugar in all these dry rubs that I'm using. I'm not specific about any one rub. I don't have a favorite. I just make sure it's got a lot of sugar in it. If you let it sit up, it should get solid. And every time you use it, you might have to bust it up. That's just the sugar in it making it do that. It's not gone bad or anything. But that's it, beer can chicken, about 90 minutes. Thanks.